All right, it's time to check your math and see how well you did on this BuyerNet problem that Phyllis has. Well, as you can see here, Phyllis has the following information for her buyers. We have a sales price of $495,000. We have taxes, $2,545 per year. We have a new loan, and now we have a 90% LTV. That's a loan-to-value ratio. They're giving us the interest rate and the years, but that's kind of information we're not going to really need too much, although there will be some interest we will have to calculate here. So we've got that information for us. And we have, of course, our expenses, and you can see those as they're listed throughout the problem. Little curveball here, if you remember from pre-licensed real estate course, 2 discount points. And remember, points are always paid on the loan amount. And there are $200 in recording fees. We're going to close on April the 14th, and we're going to use a 30-day closing. So we're actually trying to figure out how much money will the buyers need to bring to the closing table. So I'm going to just make out a little closing statement here. This is for the buyers. And remember, we have debits and we have credits. So I always just like to take things in order. We have a sales price, $495,000. So I'm just going to put sales price here. And is this a debit or a credit to the buyers? Well, remember with the sellers, it was a credit because they're selling their home and they should get a credit for the sales price. In this case, this is going to be a debit. This is going to be a debit to the buyers. They're purchasing the home for $495,000, so that's going to be our first entry, a debit. Now, we have taxes, which are $2,545 per year. Remember, taxes are always paid in arrears. So let's work our first tax situation, $2,545, and we want to divide this by 12 to get our monthly tax amount. So $2,545 divided by 12 is $212.08, and this is per month, so that's the monthly amount. Now let's take 212.08 and divide by 30 to get the daily amount, and that's $7.07, and that's going to be our daily taxes. Well, we're closing on April 14th, and remember, my mother said, count on your fingers and start with the month of February into counting the month of the closing and then add your days into that. So, ready to start? February 1, March, April. There are 3 months of taxes and how many days? 14. So, we're going to take 212.08 times 3, and we're going to take 707 times 14. So 707 times 14 gives me $98.97. And 212.08 times 3 gives me 600, I'm going to bring that over here, 36.24 cents. When I add those together, I get $735.21. Now remember, taxes are always paid in arrears. So this actually needs to be a debit to the sellers, and this would be a credit to the buyers. And then at the end of the year, the buyers will pay the entire tax bill. So what we did was we charged the seller from January 1 until April 14th, and we gave a credit on the closing statement to the buyers, $735.21. Hoping I didn't make any math issues or errors there. We'll just leave that the way it is for right now. So taxes are done. Now, what's the new loan amount? It's a 90% LTV. Well, if the sales price is $495,000, it's a 90% LTV, that's our rate, so I'm going to move my decimal over, so that's going to be 0.90. We're solving for the loan amount, so 495 times 0.90 tells me the loan is $445,500. That's the loan amount. Okay, now, how will that look on the closing? Well, it wouldn't be a debit. That's the sales price. It's a credit. They're getting a credit for $445,500. That's a credit for the loan. So we have that out of the way. We're going to have some accrued interest, 3.5%, the interest rate. So I need to come up here and take the loan amount. We're going to do another T problem here, and I like to put my math on there. Remember, part, total, percent, 3.5%. I like to move my decimal over 2 places, so that's going to be 0.035. Now, what do we put here? We're solving for the annual interest, and I think that will be smaller than the loan amount. So the loan amount's going to go here, 445.5. And when we multiply that times 0.035, I get 15,592.50. This is annual interest. Annual interest, okay? Now, let's just divide this by 12 to get the monthly interest, which is $1,299.38. That's the monthly interest. I'm going to put MI. Now, let's just divide this by 30. And what do you get? $43.31. $43.31. And we're closing on, go back over here to the problem, the 14th. So we want to take the $43.31, there it is right there, times 14 days, and that's 606.38, and this is going to be prepaid interest. And we've talked about this already. That's the only time that the buyer will pay their interest in advance. So the prepaid interest would be a debit, and that's going to be 606.38. Remember, they're closing on April 14th. So over here to 5/1, this is that prepaid interest of 606.38. Now, their first payment won't be due until 6/1. So, this is when their first payment will be due. So even though they're closing on April the 14th, they've already paid their interest, their prepaid interest through the 5th. So even though we're closing here, they will not have a mortgage payment due until 6/1. Everybody with me on that? So just wanted to kind of make sure everybody's okay with that right there. Good job. So that's 606.38. So we've been able to take care of the prepaid interest. Now, we do have some closing costs, $900 for title work, $150 for closing. So I'm going to put title, $900. The closing fee is $150. We've got those out of there. Termite's $50. So we're going to put termite is $50. Got rid of that. Home inspection, $600. So is $600, is that correct? So that is 2 discs and $200 in recording fees. So I'm going to put recording 200. Now we have these 2 discount points that we need to calculate right here. And remember, discount points are always figured on the loan amount. So we're just going to do another T problem. This will be 2% or 0.02 when we move our decimal over. And this number comes right here, 445.5. Our math tells us to multiply. So 445,500 times 0.02 gives us $8,910. $8,910. And that is our discount points. So I'm going to put $8,910, and that would be a debit. So it's $8,910. Now normally there would be earnest money that would be a credit, but in this case we just have taxes and the loan amount. So we're going to add up everything. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom since I already have that, and I'll add the 200 plus 600 plus 50 plus 150 plus 900 plus 606.38 prepaid interest plus the sales price, 495,123. And that is $506,416.38. Those are the total debits. Now let's look at the credits here. 445.5. And they also get a credit for 735.21. So that is $446,235.21. So 506,416.38 minus their credits of 446,235.21 equals $60,181.17. This is how much they will need to bring to closing. And when we add that to 446,235.21, I get $506,416.38, and that is the same number over here, and so everything balances out. So again, the buyers will need to bring to the closing table $60,181.17. All right, and again, if you're using a worksheet like the RPR, it will automatically calculate all those numbers for you, make it a lot easier. There might still be some items you need to do, but as I've mentioned before, sometimes it's pretty impressive when you can work through this with your buyer or your seller with a closing worksheet. They're at their home or at the office or wherever you're going over the contract. So make sure you know how to do BuyerNet and SellerNet closing statements. It will help you immensely as a real estate professional.